I'm just only worried about is like y'all know I can't talk for shit.
Like, if you can just be like, don't mumble. Like, there are times in life you can mumble, and I just feel like today's not the day.
One thing Aaron is going to do is he's going to talk about his connection with Rob before he even talks about his partner. And it's like, make it make sense. That's not making sense. The fact that he discussed his connection with Rob with his family, I still don't understand. I don't understand. I understand they're in a brotherhood. Yeah, that makes sense. I understand, he's miles away from home. So it's nice that he has a friend, someone to look up to, someone who'll sort of keep him in check as he goes through the process. But I think this wasn't the time for him to talk about Rob. I think he should have focused on his connection with Kayla, and that's all he should have spoken about. But maybe I'm overthinking it. And for Rob also, how the audacity, be a gentleman, keep a secret. How can you run from having sex with someone and run and tell your best mate that we've had sex? And it's like, why? Why would you do that? Anyway, I digress. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island USA, Season 6, Episode 28. So Ariana Madix has gone and everyone is reflecting. They're ecstatic that they're going to get to speak to family because there's 3 couples that are going to speak to their family members. But there's also a lot of self-reflection. People are reflecting on their journey, how they've got to where they are and what their families are likely to say. With Kayla and Aaron won the traitors, he said. And I see why he won the traitors. Because he knows how to manipulate Kayla. He wanted a girl he could manipulate. This is why he stuck with Kayla and he decided not to go for the bombshells when initially he was interested in the bombshells. For them to talk about, his time in Casa and him to be defensive doesn't make sense. Even for Kayla to say you shouldn't be defensive. Why is she telling him? Why not just leave him and allow him to face the consequences of his actions when the time comes? Let him answer the call. You don't need to prep him. Why are you preparing him? He knew what he was doing. He's a grown man, so there's no need for you to prepare him. You have Serena having a conversation with Cordell because she is nervous because of how I think she lashed out after Casa. Yes, he had wronged her, but the way she spoke to him is where she's anxious that how will his family feel about that? What will they say? What will their opinions be? And Cordell is anxious about Serena's family, given the fact that they saw him in Casa and how he behaved as well. And it's like, maybe you should have thought about all this before you started moving mad. Maybe you should have thought about all this because the time was going to come for you to answer the call, and now the time is here. You have to answer the call and you have to deal with the consequences of your actions, and no one is going to save you. So it is what it is. You have Janaea sitting with Kenny. They're talking about the fact that, Janaea is saying, I would have wanted to speak to you, to see your family or to speak to your mom. And you can see Kenny, I called it when I said he self-sabotaged during that game because he didn't even address that. All he said was, oh, I'm happy that, the guys get to see their family. They get to have conversations with their family. And it's like, that has nothing to do with you. You should be ecstatic that you get to speak to your family and you get to speak to the family of the girl that you're coupled up with. Unless you're not serious about this connection, there's no need for you to be worrying or to be happy for somebody else. You should be focused on the fact that the two of you didn't manage to make it. You have, Kendall and Nicole, they're excited. They're sort of nervous. Kendall is nervous about how Nicole's family is going to perceive his actions because he was moving mad as well in Casa. He didn't couple up with anyone, but he was encouraging a lot of bad behavior. This is why I say he's the most strategic player at the end of the day because he knew what he was doing. We've seen a lot of people. This is a common theme amongst the participants on Love Island, whereby they push other people to do the mess and then they sit there and pretend to be innocent. So I can't wait to see him sort of meet her family and hear what Nicole's mom and dad have to say about him and his time in Casa. You have Miguel and Leah. Miguel and Leah, for some reason, they get along. They actually seem to be a cute couple, irregardless of the fact that people thought, she should be with Rob. I think Miguel brings out a side of Leah that we didn't know was there. I think she, he compliments her very well. Just like I think Cassie compliments Rob because Rob is a different person completely with Cassie than he was with any of his previous partners. He's more vocal. Yes, he's socially awkward. He is socially awkward. I think, yes, he uses the snake thing to sort of hide his insecurities and to hide the fact that he's not sort of confident in some of the things that he does or says. While they were sitting there, they were looking at the moon. It looked amazing because it kept changing, because I think the clouds were passing by it. And it was cute for him to sort of see them and sort of have a conversation and sort of explain what was going on. That was cute to see. And then the islanders get ready for bed. And I think there's a bit of cattiness that's taking place. I don't want to say anything because maybe I just overestimated what was going on. The islanders get into bed and it's like, oh my god, you have Janaea climbing on top of Kenny. You have Leah and Miguel. Oh, they're enjoying themselves. Miguel, saved himself in that couple, in the sense that Leah will not let him go. She said she wants to go to the hideaway, and she's definitely going to get her opportunity because she as well was on top of Miguel, and it's like, oh my god. And then you have Cassie sort of saying to Rob, we can't touch. I don't know whether Rob was afraid of touching her or whatever, and because as soon as he was given permission, the way he ran with it, and it's like he's already forgotten about Andrea, he's already forgotten about Daniela, he's now into Cassie. I think Cassie was the person that he wanted, and it's sad that they left Cassie until the very end. They should have brought her in a bit earlier, in my opinion, unless they were saving her for Rob. It doesn't make sense while they brought her at the very end. Anyway, all the islanders get ready and they're enjoying themselves as they go to sleep. So in the morning, you have the islanders, just sitting in their couples, hanging around. Everyone is nervous. They're nervous. The couples receiving the calls are nervous. Those not receiving the calls are just there for emotional support because they're not getting this opportunity. And so you have Aaron. Aaron is crapping his pants because he knows he moved mad in Casa, and he knows Kayla's family is going to hold him accountable, if not his own family. His family might not embarrass him on TV, but they will have a conversation once he leaves the villa. So Kayla then receives a text message to say, it's her turn to speak to her family. And I loved them. They were very loving. They were very supportive. And her sister was not playing with smoke. She said, she's not a fan of Aaron. She's not a fan at all. She's not a fan. So she wanted, her sister to know that she's not a fan, and her grandma was there. I like the fact that Kayla's mom was talking about the fact that she doesn't like the way Aaron moved in Casa. She doesn't like the things that he did and the fact that he wouldn't take responsibility during movie night. And so it was interesting when Aaron's family came that, apparently their mothers had been communicating and sort of keeping each other company, and they were trying to cheer their children on. And it's like, as a parent, you have to support your child. You have to support your child in public. And then if you have beef, you can sort out your beef once you get home. But I give them credit for, both families. Well, Aaron, not so much Aaron's family, but Kayla's family actually told him, Kayla's an amazing girl. You need to remember that she loves you. And because she loves you, we're going to love you. But always treat her with kindness. And so even her stepdad was there. It was cute. Kayla was crying. She's always crying. She needs to... I don't know what she needs to do, but she needs to try and sort of handle situations maybe differently and learn to sort of hold people sort of to a certain standard. If you're not going to, mess with me and then give me a smile or give me a kiss and then we forget about it. This is why Aaron has taken her for granted throughout this season, because had she put her foot down after Casa, he would have stopped most of the behaviors that he was doing. But because he knew he was never going to get in trouble, he carried on and didn't care who he hurt or what he said. His family, well, if you don't know English people, then you'd say they were a bit standoffish. But if you know English people, this is who they are. It's not that they mean any offense. It's not that they're being standoffish, but they have this way that's not very touchy-feely like other people. So I wasn't surprised when they spoke to Kayla, and she was anxious, I think, because she's not used to this sort of reception. I think she's used to, all bubbly, happy-go-lucky, blah. And they were not that. They were not that at all. So she told them, I'm looking forward to meeting you. And they said they were looking forward to meeting her. For, Aaron to talk about his connection with Rob instead of talking about the girl sitting next to him didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. I would have expected him to speak more about his connection with Kayla than to focus on Rob and his connection. I don't know. It's just me. Maybe I'm wrong, but it seems he's more concerned about Rob than he is the girl that he says he loves. So I like that his family were accepting and they were sort of understanding in regards all his behaviors and all his shortcomings, and they weren't willing to humiliate him because he had his mom, his grandma, and his brother, and so they all seem to like Kayla, but I think they know that Aaron is going to play her and leave her. What can they do? Next up is Nicole. She gets the text to go and see her mom and dad, and her family really seemed excited. Her dad seemed more emotionally invested than her mum, and he was talking, about the game that they all love with Kendall and that they're going to play. Obviously they both liked Kendall because he didn't move mad in Casa, although I feel like Kendall likes to put on a performance. I think Kendall is a performer. I think he's had to perform in order to fit in certain situations, and this is something that he continues to carry on, because even when he was talking and speaking to Aaron and Kayla, and he was saying, I'm very nervous at this point, but once I get in, I'll come alive and everything will be okay. And it's like, this is not a performance. You're not an actor. You're meeting her family. Show them who you are. Why do you have to contort yourself into being what you think people want you to be? Just be yourself, and if they like you, they like you. If they don't, they don't. They then Nicole's family then met. It was her mom and dad. They then met Kendall, and they loved him. He was at peace the moment he realized how much how nice they were. Because before he walked in, Nicole sort of prepared her family and said, I've dealt with people who cheat. I've dealt with people who did all these bad things, and I don't think Kendall is going to be that. And it's like Kendall has got a bit of sort of controlling edge in him that I've seen. He likes to control people, especially how he moved in his connection with Hannah. I didn't like that side of him. I know people act differently according to who they're around, and I would like to think that Nicole will be able to stand up for herself, but it's only a matter of time. We'll have to wait and see. They liked Kendall. They were very appreciative of how he treats their daughter, and they can't wait to meet him, which was good. We then met, Kendall's mom and sister, and they seem like, those free spirit people, those in touch with the earth and whatever. His mom I loved. Even his sister was she's amazing, and she's beautiful. She's stunning. Love Island producers are going to start casting her for the next season if she's within the age range. And then I loved that his sister was able to call out that Kendall is falling in love with Nicole. I don't know. She knows him better. That's her brother. I was a bit nervous because they've met their family in the place that they were, in the hideaway. So it's like they're looking at the place that you and their daughter had sex. How do they feel about it? It wasn't as cohesive as Aaron and Kayla's parents, because Aaron and Kayla's mom have a connection themselves that they've created because their children are on the show and they're dating. But it was nice to see. It was nice that, once Nicole left, Aaron was able to call out his sister and say, how could you tell her that I'm falling in love with her? I haven't even told her that I'm falling in love. And she was like, well, I can see it, so that's why I said it. And I don't know. It's now a time for him to reflect and decide how he's going to tell her he loves her and what he's going to do. I don't know whether that was genuine or whether that was her giving him a tip that it's time for you to tell her that you love her so that you can win the show. I hope it's genuine. I really do hope it's genuine, because I think it would be nice for someone to have a genuine connection, because at the moment, most of the connections for me on Love Island USA are questionable at most. I don't think there's someone I can say this person is wholeheartedly in this. I think people are coming around to their connections, but I don't know who I could say, oh, this person has fallen in love with their partner and they are a ride or die. I'm sorry, I don't. So last to meet their family is Serena and Cordell. Serena goes to meet her family, and it's her sister, her brother, and her niece, I think they said. And apparently her mom couldn't make it because her mom is not feeling well. She's recently had a surgical procedure, so she's recovering from that. Although she wrote a cute little note for her, which I really loved. I like the fact that her family acknowledged that this is who she is 24/7. They didn't make any excuses for her behavior or for anything that she said or did throughout the experiment. And I also love that the sister acknowledged that, Janaea and Leah have been very good friends to Serena, and they've tried to keep her afloat and they've tried to keep her accountable for her actions and stop her from doing anything that might get her in trouble. So that I loved. Her brother was on something, and I don't know what it is. He wasn't something. Because of the way he tried to sort of mean mug Cordell, it didn't make sense to me. It might have made sense to others. To me, it didn't make sense. I didn't know why he needed to be that extra. It was interesting, to say the least, to hear him try and sort of ask Cordell, what are your long-term goals? And it's like, yeah, it could be seen as a joke, but it could be seen as a way of embarrassing him. And Cordell, I had never noticed that he's got that lisp. I thought it was just for the heart rate challenge, but it seems that's how he talks, with a lisp. Or maybe that's what he does when he's nervous. I don't get it. I don't know. I like that he apologized for his behavior during CASA and he took responsibility for that. I thought that was sweet. I thought that was sweet. He had his godmother come in. I don't know about his mom. Sorry, I've never researched on his family, and I've heard of his brother's name, but that's all. And so that was cute to see, and to see how, you know, she was happy to be there and she wanted to support him. I found that amazing. You had his dad turn up, and his dad as well was happy for Cordell. And he reminded Cordell that, you know, good things don't just come overnight. Good things come to those who wait. And the fact that you had to wait for Serena to be ready for you to move is what is going to make your relationship work. So it seems his family is very supportive of Serena and Cordell's relationship. And so that's all you could ask for, really. It seems that's all you could ask for. And then Serena left the room, and I was like, oh, is the brother not coming? And then I think they wanted the brother to have a conversation with, you know, Cordell first before Serena came in. Cordell was ecstatic to see his brother. And then he asked his brother, do you want to meet Serena? And the brother was, yeah. So they brought Serena to come and meet him, and everybody was excited. Everybody was on fire. They were ecstatic for Serena that she's meeting him, and it's like, oh my God. And so Cassie was asking, which brother? Is it the celebrity one? And everyone was like, yeah. And I think these cast members as well have been very good to Cordell. I think because they know that if they're nice to Cordell, then they will reap the rewards of being, you know, of Cordell being Odell Beckham's brother. Maybe it's me just overthinking it, but hey. It was cute to see, and it was cute to see that the brother acknowledges that it's a good thing that Serena sort of made Cordell wait. And I like the fact that Cordell's family didn't sort of hold Serena's behavior after CASA against her. They sort of skipped over it and just focused on the positive. And Cordell's brother was sort of saying, you know, everyone I talk to is asking me, are you watching Love Island? Are you watching Love Island? This was good publicity for Love Island. I'm not going to lie. This was good publicity for them, because you have Cordell's brother Odell campaigning for him for votes, asking people to vote for his brother. So obviously his brother's fans are going to vote for the younger brother, and it's going to be interesting to see if they make it to the top 4. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 27. Bye guys.